With its rapidly changing gradients, blind crests and several tight corners, Oulton Park has a reputation of being one of the quickest and most demanding tracks in the UK. Having hosted mainly regional events, it's at time Oulton Park stamps its authority as a contender for much more. Well, here we are for the third instalment of finding a home for the World Endurance Championship, as we nearly all bin it in the first corner. Yes, I was saying we're looking to find an alternative to the obvious, which will be Silverstone, if and when the series returns to the UK. But so far we've done Brands Hatch, and we've done Donington. If you'd like to look at those videos, do click the link above. But otherwise, today we are at Oulton Park, which has certainly flown under my radar. And I think I've had an epiphany since doing qualifying and a couple of test runs in this, as we get a good run on the Lamborghini. It's an absolutely fantastic circuit to drive. Certainly this layout, you may have noticed, it is the international circuit. However, I have skipped out on the Britain's chicane and the Hislop chicane, just to help the AI overtake the slower GT3 cars, as we know that the AI don't tend to fare well when it comes to multi-class racing. Oh, as we tag the back of the Cadillac there, which you may have noticed I'm not in a Cadillac this time. I'm trying out the 963 Porsche Penske, which is certainly the hypercar of choice in real life, as in IMSA and the WEC. It's certainly racking up all the podium positions, certainly for this year. And this mod's no exception. It's a very, very detailed mod. I'll put a link in the description actually. I say the car is fantastic to drive. It's very, very predictable, and it's also incredibly quick in a straight line, especially my BOP. The Cadillac is certainly one of the faster cars, but as he gets into the dirt, I should be able to get a good run with a bit of toe, and we'll pull up alongside, although I don't know if I'm going to run out of grunt before we get to Knickerbrook, which will hit about just shy of 180 there. Let's not have a huge accident down there. You can see why they put the chicane there, because that's fairly quick. I don't think there's no amount of runoff that would be able to save you from those speeds, especially in these cars. But yeah, the circuit itself, it's... yeah, there's a reason why it's so unique compared to all the other circuits. I say it has a similar history to Donington, and it has a similar layout to Brands Hatch, but there's reasons for that. So we get down the inside of the Cadillac, and he's still there, but he runs a bit wide and make it stick. So we'll take that place, that's for sure. And yeah, the cars to look out for this time, the Toyotas and the Ferraris were the quickest in qualifying. Certainly the high-speed nature of the circuit certainly aids those cars, but you can never count out the Peugeots or the Alpines or the other Porsches actually. They always seem to do quite well. Unfortunately, the Cadillac and the Lamborghini do tend to be a little bit clumsy. So we'll see if they hopefully score some points this time. It seems to be cutting the dirt there, and we're going to get boxed in by the lap traffic and the Alpine. Again, not the fastest thing in the straight line, but certainly around the corners it's second to none. But yeah, so certainly the age-old question whether would the WEC come to Oulton Park, and after qualifying in a couple of test runs, I mean, other examples I'd find of a similar circuit like this would be, if you look at IMSA, you know, you got Lime Rock, you've got Mosport, they're certainly smaller circuits. I think Lime Rock is probably the close relation to either Brands or Oulton Park as an American equivalent. As the Alpine gets blocked in by the Mustang, and we'll take that place as well. Making our way up nicely. Yeah, well, certainly history shows that we have raced at smaller venues, and you know, I think once so often is fine, because it does make it sort of a bit of a spectacle, whereas it can get a bit manic sometimes. Although this race has proven to be actually fairly calm, although we've only hit a little bit of lap traffic. We get a good run on the Porsche in front of us as we hit just shy of 190 as we enter Knickerbrook, which is absolutely mad. That's mental. So we try and find a way past, but again, this complex of corners does not aid overtaking at these speeds, that's for sure. But I think this is now good a time as any to take you on a guided lap of Oulton Park. So as we come across the start and finish line, we're going to make a overtake into the first corner, which is Old Hall Corners. The Porsche is still there, but we make it through another place. The first corner seems to be popular. Through Denton's and then Cascades is a very fast left-hander as we go around the outside of the Beamer, and we make our way along Lakeside Straight because you've got the lake on your left, and then through Island Bend, which is nearly flat out, not quite in this car, and then to Shell Oil's Corner, which is like a mini carousel for the UK, a lot smoother than the real one, that's for sure. As we get boxed in by the Team Gazoo, Lexus and Toyota. On the left there would have been Britain's Chicane, which we're missing out. Just over Hilltop now, and then on the right you would have Hislop Chicane, which again we're missing out. Through Knickerbrook, which is now 120-mile-an-hour corner because hypercar. Through Clay Hill, and then you've got the Water Tower corner, and then we're through Druids, which is a two-parter really, two apex corner. Down the Warwick Bridge to the Lodge corner, which is a very challenging corner, and up through Dearly and across the start and finish line once again for a 1 minute 16.5, which is actually a pretty slow time actually. I think 1 minute 14 is a more representative time in these cars anyway for qualifying. Yeah, certainly, like I was saying, it's more of a left field choice as it is quite a very quick, narrow circuit, sort of tucked away at the northwest corner of the country, should I say? Which I think is a good time to talk about the history, which makes this place so unique and why it is, or why it was so popular, and perhaps why it's sort of flying under the radar at the moment. Certainly back in the 30s, it was part of the Oulton Park estate. I think there's still some remnants of the estate around the circuit. The circuit was founded by the Cheshire Car Club Society, I think. And sort of nothing really happened with it. Oh, as we nearly bin it in the last corner. Yeah, nothing really happened with it from the 30s because, I say, global events like a couple of world wars happened. So until we got to the 50s, I say the racing scene started to boom again. We had all these disused airfields, and they were all being recycled as racetracks, like Silverstone, Thruxton, Goodwood, which is why a lot of our circuits are quite flat, but do have plenty of fast corners. Which is why Oulton Park certainly stands out, because it's one of the only really purpose-built road courses. Everything else is a recycled airfield, which is why this circuit is how it is, because it's, say, carved through the countryside, and you gotta love a track that's got. Oh, we nearly had a bit of a heart attack there. I don't know where the McLaren was going, but you don't tend to go off at Oulton Park and live to tell the tale, so I'm happy we're still going. Well, so yes, I was going to say this is why this track lends itself to all these undulating corners and off-camber and gradients. Because it's a purpose-built road course and not built on the flattest land you could find to land a plane on. So we go past our fellow Porsche on the outside of Cascade, which seems to be the passing place for the LM GT3s. So yeah, so once the circuit was built, and where it was built as well, in the northwest corner of the country, because all the airfields were slightly lower south because of the war, and sort of for strategic placement nearer the countries you're at war with. The sort of northwest corner of the country was left without a circuit. So yeah, the Cheshire Car Club built the circuit, and very quickly the F1 came along for non-championship events, which is, you know, I still think it's incredible that they raced F1 here, and it was certainly popular because say the other two large cities in the country that aren't London, Manchester and Liverpool, are only just above it. And so say it's a very high densely populated area that they only had one racetrack to go to. So most events, you get chopped by the Corvette then, nearly. Yeah, most of the people could only go to Oulton Park as the closest circuit. So the F1 was incredibly popular during the 50s, I think until early 60s, which then the sports cars had their turn, certainly with the unique style of the Lolas, Chevrons, Tigers, Spicers, you know, that era of completely mental sports cars. And then it sort of switched back again in the 70s to F1 again, more non-championship events, but again it was still very popular. You still had the top teams turn up, and yeah, it was just a shame there wasn't really a championship round. As we come up to first and second place there, Toyota and Ferrari. I'd say the ones to watch out for. I think we've got a couple of laps left, so we can see if we make a move happen. Yeah, and then in the 80s there was a sort of Can-Am series, which I think was, I don't know if it was the official Can-Am, but it was a UK version. I did do a bit of googling, but I didn't come up with much. Again, it was sort of similar to the sports cars of that era, but it would be cool to do a proper Can-Am race around here. I think I might add that to the list of things to do, I think. And then certainly in the 90s it was the touring car boom, as I get a good run around the outside of the Ferrari, and we make it stick for second place, and the fellow Ferrari in front is being blocking the Toyota, and we get a good run on him too, and that's first and second, or second and first, and there we are with a couple of laps to go. Keep it nice and clean and bag ourselves a win. As I was saying, the touring cars were booming in the 90s. That's nope. Yep. Okay, I've somehow managed to survive going off at Oulton Park. I think I've said before that's not something that happened, so I think we'll just let our tyres clean up a bit and go after them again, although I don't think there's much traffic to help me here, so we'll see if we can get those places back. Yeah, 90s, touring car boom, noughties, GT1 cars. Certainly that's my era of racing. That's something I'd like to do as well. Yeah, especially with the British GT, it was, you know, McLaren F1s, Celines, Vipers, Listers. Yeah, I'm certainly going to do a race like that here, and then sort of from the noughties until now, it's been the staple diet of any racing series, regional or global. It's GT3 cars, which have always been very, very good around the circuit. The British GT, and any other regional GT3 events that we've had. So yeah, so say Oulton Park's had it all, but now it's just the regional touring cars and GT cars. As I think that's the beamer off. I thought it was Ferrari then for a second. They're still far ahead. I don't know if I can catch them for the end. But yeah, so it's a shame this track's flown under the radar for so long, because as I say, it's such a brilliant circuit, and I'd love to see WC come back here. But you know, like I said, whether they will or not, it will probably be Silverstone, let's be honest. Which is a circuit I'm not sure I rate it that highly anymore. I mean, since they got rid of Bridge Corner, it's just, that was the only bit of elevation it had. Now it's just completely flat, and you can't. Oh, as the Ferrari's being blocked by the Mustang, now that I might just be able to get second here. I have to get a good run onto the straight. A bit too far back for a tow, or am I? Go over hilltop. Let's watch the speed as we come to... Oh, that was 188 there into Nickelbrook, and I think about 120 through it. That's probably the best I've taken at all race on the final lap. There's not really an overtaking point here until we get to Lodge, I think. So I want to steer off once again. I don't think I'm going to do it. I think we'll have to settle for third place here. Well, what do you think of that? That was a cracking race in my book. I'd certainly like to do that one again. Let's quickly look at the results before we go. So a win there for Buemi in the Toyota. Good to see them back on top. Again, another good outing for the Alpine, consistently finishing in the top 10. Good to see the Cadillac and the Lamborghini getting some points there. If you look a bit further down, not a great day for Peugeots or Beamers, who seem to have had a horrid time there. We move on to the LM GT3s. Finally, the Ferrari had broken the curse, so they've not only got points but a win. The Corvette still seems to be unstoppable, and there's an incredibly tight battle between the Astons, Lexus, McLarens and Lamborghinis. The Porsches didn't seem to be anywhere that race, so let me know what you think. Oulton Park, I didn't really think about it before, but I'm thinking about it now, that's for sure. Let me know what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.